Choosing a mate selection, choosing a partner. Does it really happen? Is it real? Are we really choosing, or are we creating, finding, discovering, co-creating with each other when it comes to love, when it comes to romance, when it comes to building a relationship? A romantic relationship, an intimate relationship, one where we feel connected and we feel deep solace in who we are when we're in that relationship. This notion of choosing someone is very important. And what are we actually choosing? Are we choosing a version of ourselves that is connected to growth and expansion when we're with someone else, when we're willing to be in that relationship? What does it mean, the various layers of choosing? I remember in my early years, in my teenage years, late teenage years and early 20s, being in a relationship was really difficult for me. It was this coming from this place of almost desperation and insecurity as a young man, not knowing myself, trying to balance the parts of me that were wanting to be in a relationship and the parts of me that were very fearful of being in a relationship. And so I was making decisions about who I was spending my time with and how I was choosing to grow, or not grow rather, in those relationships, based on fear and based on past wounding. And so I wasn't choosing myself. I don't know if we can actually choose to be with someone in relationship, or ultimately we're choosing a version of ourselves that we feel is evolved and enhanced or is growing because of that partnership dynamic when we're in relationship. So I don't know if we're actually choosing someone. Now, making a commitment to be there, to be present, to hear that person, to see and witness that person, to observe and feel that person, to give them the essence of who you are. That is a choice, absolutely. And in doing so, we get to observe, who are we being? How are they growing? How am I growing? And how is this relationship, this container, adding value to the world? When we ask those questions, when we're in relationship, we are consciously choosing to be there, but are we choosing the other person? I still don't know about that. Let's keep going though. So when we are in intimate relationship, when we are in romantic partnership, we're looking to understand ourselves and evolve an aspect of ourselves, because parts of us consciously and unconsciously see tremendous value. At some level we witness, we observe value. If we remain in this relationship, we are going to grow and we are going to add value to this person's life. Now, if that feels good, and we often come from a healthy place, if we come from a healthy place when we make those decisions, both conscious and unconscious, the relationship flourishes. When the foundation of the choices that we are making are vested in an unhealthy sense of self, low self-worth, unresolved pain and wounding, that becomes dangerous, because what happens then is that we're making choices based on fear cycles. We're making choices based on protective mechanisms. And there's so much that's going on unconsciously in our minds and in our bodies, in our hearts, when we're making these choices to be with someone. If you feel that you are very clingy to someone, if you feel you can't live without them, if you feel deeply attached to who they are, how they treat you defines your sense of self-worth and how you feel about yourself, then maybe you may be choosing them, but are you choosing them in the healthiest of ways? This is something that we need to explore within ourselves. Choosing a partner isn't like being at the grocery store and choosing between which coconut milk you're going to purchase that day. It's so much more than that. You're choosing a version of yourself that will enhance you. Well, that's the hope. That's the idea. And we hope that it's an intelligent hope, right? We intelligently hope that it's an intelligent hope, that we have that objective or that feeling, that embodiment of, if I am with this person, I'm going to grow. I'm going to be a quote unquote better human being. And will I be able to make their lives even better? Will I be able to enhance their lives, help evolve them, help make them a better person? I really think we find love and we discover love and we find ourselves and we discover ourselves in relationship, and we co-create the substance and the foundation that the relationship grows from. And again, if we're coming from a healthy, clear sense of self, we've really dealt with a lot of our core woundings, if we have those core woundings, and we really see ourselves from a place of I am worthy, then the mates that we will choose, whether it be for procreation, whether it be for beginning a family, whatever your values are, whether it be for just connecting love, whether it be for sexual exploration, whether it be for something else, deepening your love and your romantic connection to another person, your eros to another person, the essence of you, if that's coming from a healthy place, then the chances are the ability for that relationship to thrive will increase massively. If it's coming from a wounded place where you feel distressed in your being, where you're really secretly, aka unconsciously, leveraging the energy of others to make you feel better because maybe you were hurt or abandoned as a child and you need attention and affection and deep love as an adult, if it's coming from that place, that's not very sustainable because there's a lot of receiving and wanting, but there's not really a healthy exchange and reciprocity of giving. And so are we really choosing our partners, or are we choosing to be better versions of ourselves? And so when we start to attract particular people and we witness patterns that we're playing out in different relationships, we're going to notice that what's actually happening is that we're choosing a version of ourselves that wants to bust through the seams and grow. And it's in that growth that we discover a grander version of ourselves. And it's in that grander version of ourselves that we can give more to the relationship. So I wonder what it's actually teaching us, being in relationship. What is it demonstrating about who we are? What is it saying about us? The choices that we make in any relationship, the choices with regards to how we express ourselves, the beliefs that we hold in a particular relationship, how we see ourselves, how we identify in the relationship, how we choose to treat another human being, all of this carries immense value. And it carries value because we're making choices to up-level ourselves secretly without even knowing it. And so we're indirectly choosing that relationship and that partner, but what we are really choosing, what underpins that fundamentally, is this opportunity that we want to grow. And there is something in our bodies, in our hearts, in our minds that is pulling us towards that person and that dynamic. It's to help us grow and teach us something about ourselves. Teach us something about how we can be maybe a new way to be in relationship. Maybe instead of being highly attached in relationship, maybe instead of coming from a desperate place or an insecure attachment style, the opportunity is to come from a more open sense of self. Come from a place where we're not so attached to the outcome and the intimacy that's given by that person. You know, we experience diversity in our lives, and how we interpret those experiences, whether they're considered good, bad, or ugly, negative, positive, etc. How we interpret those experiences lays the foundation for the decisions that we make in life, what we're attracted to and what we're repelled by as adults. And so the opportunity is to go deep into ourselves and ultimately continue to choose us and choose growth. If we run into challenge and if we run into difficulty in the relationship then says, do you want to grow from this? How do you wish to approach this situation? Can you feel differently to how you have felt before? Can you see yourself differently to how you have seen yourself before? Can you treat this person with a greater level of patience and respect and reverence, as opposed to coming from old behavioral patterns, old coping strategies that push people away or attack or become hyper selfish or very defensive and maybe overtly critical? Can you change a behavior that's not healthy in a sustainable way, that's actually pushing people away in your life? And if you look back at this pattern, this relationship, this choice that you're making to be with this person, to be in this relationship, is actually a deeper reflection of you choosing to expand your soul. And maybe this is your soul's curriculum, to go through that challenge, to go through the gauntlet, and it's okay. It's quote unquote safe to still do so because there is value and benefit in that. So can we be more conscious and aware of the choices that we are making? And can we choose more deliberately? Power and blessings to you. Share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear them. I'll see you again soon.